Hello everyone and welcome back to the Hard Facts with Jett Black. Today we are going to be interviewing a very special guest. He is pretty much running multiple industries in this city or governmental bodies. He is the man to call when you need your business sorted out. He is the guy to look for anytime you need pretty much anything. Everyone, please welcome to the show, Lone Dark.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, welcome, Mr. Dark. Welcome. And to those at home, I'm so sorry. I have a little bit of a head cold, so my voice is a little bit rough. But, Mr. Dark, thank you so much for coming on the show. I know that you have a lot to talk about. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, starting out.
Where do I start? Well, good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Lone Dark, the Assistant Chief Justice of the DOJ. I also help manage and fulfill the San Andreas Bar Association. I am currently also employed at the Business Bureau, or the Better Business Bureau, BBC.
Yeah, just like I said, yeah, he pretty much is running everything. Now, Mr. Dark, I know that you being on the show today is a little bit of a... I mean, I don't want to say a promotion, but you want to get the word out to the people, as well as just let the people know a little bit about you. If I'm to understand it, you have some job openings, is that right?
Yes, we do. Both the DOJ and SABA, also known as SABA, we have job openings for both lawyers, judges, and clerks.
Oh yeah, and we're going to be asking you so many questions about that. And so, getting into that, we might as well just dive right into the topic at hand. For those watching at home who think legal department exclusively means filling out paperwork until your soul leaves your body, what actually happens inside the DOJ on a day-to-day basis?
Surprisingly, there is not as much paperwork as people consider. It's mainly just outreach, talking to clients, talking inside DOJ itself. A lot of the times it is just getting a hold of different departments or getting a hold of individuals, whether it's for marriage certificates, liquor licenses, expungements. That's just on the clerk side alone. You've also with the judges, and they constantly getting a hold of each department, just making sure everything itself is working out good. And if they've got any questions, they've got someone they can relate to.
I see. So, in a way, you'd say that the DOJ is kind of the pumping heart that pumps the blood to all of the different vital organs of our city, so to speak.
I wouldn't say it's the heart. Every single department in itself is all one and together the heart.
Ah, I see it.
Closely together with each other.
A great sense of unity in our great city of Los Santos. Well, next question. Let's break it down a little bit. What does a clerk do? What does a lawyer do? And what does a judge do? In simple San Andreas terms, if you don't mind.
In simple San Andreas terms, that's going to be a lovely one.
Oh, well, I know that I'm someone who, you start throwing all this legal jargon at me and I'm going to be completely somewhere else. You got to put it into that idea of the average person who has these aspirations but hasn't quite learned all the things that you have in your position.
I could list off a shit ton of stuff, but I'll make it very short and sweet. Anything revolving around any form of license, excluding hunting and fishing, clerks issue out. They can reinstate. Anything revolving around any form of court case, hearing, or anything like that, they go to a clerk, and clerks can reach out to you as well. Any contract that needs signing gets notarized by clerks.
So pretty much anytime anyone needs some authorization on something, anytime someone needs to make something quote-unquote official, they're going to be dealing with clerks. Is that about right?
That is about right, yes, Jett.
All right, well, what about the lawyers? I gotta say, I enjoy a crime drama myself, so the lawyer and the judge's aspect is something that I'm very, very curious of.
I'll get the nitty-gritty one over is the judges side of things. Basically, they're there to... We've got four different ranks in the... So we got your protege, which are the people who are willing to learn but do not understand fully yet. They're the ones that are there to shadow. It's kind of like your recruit, you could say. They can't really do much. They're there just to sit down, watch, take notes, and learn. Got your magistrates, which they're the ones where we start giving a little bit more duties to. They can start doing some open courts. They can start doing certain cases that are not violent felonies and are not huts. Your judges are the ones that can take on those huts. They can start taking on the more experienced things. And then you've got your justices. They do everything. From your administration in the back end, to the cases, to communicating with heads of each department, to you name it, I've probably done it.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, I was going to say amazing, but I feel like intimidating might be the right word. I mean, if you've done all of that, you're like an iron gauntlet of the law in that regard. And what about lawyers? What do you usually expect from the average lawyer?
We do not expect everyone to be 100% knowing of the law. We understand that a lot of stuff we will learn over time. And that's why we've got the paralegal, which is their job is similar to a protege judge. They go around, they shadow lawyers, and they learn. They can ask questions. They go down to cell reps with the lawyers and not only ask the lawyers questions, but they can also ask the officers questions. We also keep in close communication with the lawyers when and if needed. The lawyers primarily, they're there to reach out to the clients to make sure they are respectfully charged with the right crimes if a crime is committed. They're there to prove whether or not a crime has been committed. They're there to basically try and help the people as much as they can. They also work closely, some lawyers I know of do work closely with certain departments to help the departments themselves stay out of any form of legal trouble. So you're not only just working with the citizens of the state, you're also working with each department if you are willing to.
I see. So lawyers are a little bit of a multi-tool, whether they're going to be used by a department, a citizen, or some other governmental body.
Yes, that is correct.
Well, on that topic, we're talking about all the roles that you're aiming for. Which role would you say is the hardest to fill right now, and why? Is it time commitment, pressure, or possibly something else?
It will be a mixture of two separate ones. So one would be the DOJ side of things being actually technically three. So one will be DOJ itself with clerks. A lot of people think it's just paperwork heavy and they don't even want to think about it. Where in all honesty at this current time, the sad truth is the few clerks I do have on my staff sit around and get paid a decent paycheck to do nothing.
Oh, where do I sign?
We'll talk about it afterwards, don't worry. The
Well,
SABA
please
side,
continue.
we need more lawyers. The citizens themselves need someone that can represent them. And I'm wanting people to reach out, and we can try our very best to get you to that position.
I can speak personally. I've ever since JBTV has started to become more of a corporate body in the city, I've actually been looking for a corporate lawyer. So I can speak to that right there. That a little bit more on that regard would be very much appreciated for when things get a little messy.
The worst one to try and find any form of staffing for is the Business Council itself. Every single civilian I've spoken to and done a little survey of, they all have a sour taste in their mouth for it. So everyone is not willing to even take a look at it.
Really? That is actually very surprising coming from me, and this might just be a difference of circles that we're traveling in, but it's a matter of the Business Council has done great by JBTV, and as well as other businesses that I've spoken to, like Cat of the Elegant Swan. We recently did a promotional post for them for their Cocktails Under the Stars event, which was very nice. I don't know if you were able to attend, but as far as I've seen, the Business Council has been really helping the citizens get their dreams out there. So I'm a little shocked that you say that.
Well, I got some news revolving around the business council I'll mention later, don't worry.
Oh, good, good, good. Well, just to kind of, you're talking about the misconceptions. What would you say are the most common misconceptions about working in the law here, and something you wish more people understood before they apply to a job?
Well, the most common one that I've been seeing carrying on around is the you need to know everything to even start to think becoming one. We don't need you to know 100% of the law. And as I mentioned earlier, we're willing to train you. We've got excellent lawyers as they currently stand, and they're even offering to train. We also offer a signing bonus to any lawyer who can train up a paralegal.
I see, I see. So a little bit of incentive, viewers at home, there's going to be an article coming out in the news network soon about this whole shebang, and that little incentive might actually be included in that article, so stay tuned on that one. Well, you're talking about that's the most common misconception about, someone needs to know everything. But let's say someone knows enough for you to consider them. What would you say the number one trait someone should have before they even think about applying is?
Do not afraid to get your shit wrong in the nicest way possible. You're going to be going up against a lot of other people during court cases, and there have been a few times where we've had a few individuals, few lawyers who got something wrong and did not like it and took things into their own hands.
Oh, I see. So you just need to, everyone's kind of growing, so you need to make sure that even if you're new to the position, if you're old to the position, you're not going to get thrown under the bus or into the fire for getting something wrong. Is that about the message that you're sending?
Yeah. Basically, that is it, yes.
Gotcha. All right. Well, to break a little bit in the middle of all this, I wanna play a little game on this show that we call Allegedly. Yeah, sorry, the crowd's going wild for it. They love this segment. So, what's gonna happen is I'm going to give you a scenario, a fake scenario, and you're free to and just so you know, viewers, this is a fake scenario, no allegations here. But what you're going to say is you're going to spin it or accept it, deny it, some other thing like that. Are you ready, Mr. Dark?
Sure thing, but give me one example test run of the first one, so I can at least
Sure. We can give one example. So, allegedly, I saw you paying a parking ticket with jelly beans. Care to explain?
Well, you see, I went down to Uwu Cafe, and apparently that's all their parking meters accept down there.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see. I used to peruse there all the time, and I never used one of the parking meters. Well, you heard it here, folks. If you're going down the Uwu, make sure that you have a fresh pocket of jelly beans. Now, for the real question, Mr. Dark, are you ready for this? I heard that the DOJ are actually going to start implement swimsuit Saturdays to raise morale. Care to comment?
There's nothing better than a decent swimsuit on a Saturdays. It will conflict with other departments and there are casual Fridays, slutty Saturdays. But why don't we just jump aboard with that as well? Everyone else seems to be doing it. Why not us?
Yeah, I did actually hear about the Saturdays when I was at the Cocktails Under the Stars. I heard that phrase and I was very surprised. Maybe it can be swimsuit Sundays since Saturday already seems to be taken,
Maybe we can go back to Throwback Thursday.
Yeah, throwback. I would love to see that. I'm a big fan of the 1920s kind of noir detective. I don't know if you saw, but I was playing a certain Mr. Holmes for Halloween. I was wearing the tweed coat and all that.
Well, that's good to hear that you partook in that as well.
Oh yeah, well, you heard it here first. Fridays on some departments, Saturdays on others, and Sundays, go down to the courthouse and see some swimsuits. Now, back to the topic at hand, Mr. Dark. Are there any red flags that will just instantly disqualify someone?
The primary one is any form of violent felony. We do allow lawyers to have felonies to get their bar license, but they have to be just minor felonies. A violent felony, some examples being mayhem, terrorism, first-degree murder, things like that. That's where we'll have to get you in contact with a clerk, and we can seek an expungement if you really want to go for it. Otherwise, that's the ones where we sadly do have to turn them back.
I see. Now, just a quick question from my perspective. Is there any I've heard ideation that there might be a change in felonies holding legal jobs. Do you know anything about that?
As a part of being on the business council, I do. So similar to that, very similar, violent felonies cannot be in a management position inside of a business. It's up to the business owner's own discretion on whether or not they want to employ felons. We do not grudge when it's a lower ranking employee. The only issue is if you've got a corruption or embezzlement and you're the owner of a business, it doesn't look good from an outside point of view.
Well, I gotta say, that is some of the best news. You know, I actually did hire, someone told me that they did have a felony on theirs. They were just wanting to work as an investigative journalist, and, you know, sometimes the willingness to not go out and commit crimes, but just to do what you need to within the legal boundaries is something we look for. And I was able to add them to the company roster, which was a very pleasant surprise, so I just wanted to make sure they weren't pulling my leg or if there was some kind of new development. I've got one final question for you, Mr. Dark, before I'm going to open the floor to you to say whatever you like to the city. You ready for that last question?
Go for it.
Who is scarier? An angry defendant? A furious judge? Or a lawyer who hasn't had their coffee yet?
Due to the past, I will have to say an angry defendant.
Well, there you hear it. There you hear it, folks. Even if you're working in the DOJ, you are not going to be the scariest thing in that courtroom, but don't let that deter you, because Lone Dark and his associates are here to teach you the ways of the laws of Los Santos. Now, Mr. Dark, I'm going to open the floor to you. Please, what do you have to say to the citizens at home?
Let's start off simple. Be advised, the penal code itself will be coming up with new charges and new changes. It's going to be less likely that you'll be getting charged with some bullshit, in all honesty, and sorry for my French there. But we're trying to make things better for everyone.
Oh, very nice.
About it. Sam's already know about it. It will be getting released here shortly, and I hope that everyone could agree with some of the new changes.
That is absolutely inspirational. I'm so glad that the city is coming out to really make it more accommodating for the average citizen. I know, you know, being an investigative journalist, there are times where I'm walking that line and it's been terrifying, honestly, of possibly losing my business or something like that. And I see the changes in the government that have worked to push away accidental crimes and focus more on the real stuff. And I've just got to say, I very much appreciate everything you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Of course, and you heard it here first, folks. Everything you've heard on this show, other than possibly the swimsuit Sundays, I mean, that might just be a premonition of things to come, but everything that you've heard here is the hard facts. And that's how you know that you're watching JBTV with the hard facts with Jett Black. We'll see you next time.